are going to take a trip to the West Coast because we are going to be talking about our 2017 trip to
Disneyland.
Disneyland.
In Anaheim, California.
Woohoo! Switching coasts. So we were vlogging back then, and we thought this would be the perfect time to sort of talk through our trip and share our top 10 favorite things about that trip. We'll show some video and some other fun stuff.
Yeah, as Sarah just said, we weren't doing this at all back then. We have video and stuff which shows
Tons of video.
We have a lot of video, but that was mainly just for personal use and everything, and just watching them every so often, showing them to friends and family. But now that we're doing this, we figure a Disneyland video at this time might be fun.
Yeah,
So,
just a little bit of a switcheroo.
So
So we went in October of 2017 because I had a work trip for a conference there, and we figured what better way to cap off a work trip than to do a Disneyland trip since it was in Anaheim. So we went a couple of days ahead of time before my conference started. So we went 3 days to the parks, and then Brandon went home.
I flew back first.
And then care of the kitties.
Then she stayed for
another 3 days.
3 more days, and then came back. Not at Disneyland, she didn't stay. Although she did do a few more things there.
Yeah, I did go back to Disneyland a couple more times.
She did go back to Disneyland a couple more times to eat it. Well, we'll cover that. But so she did go without me a few times, which I'm jealous of, but very happy.
But I was sending him lots of photos while I was there. So
so
we figured what we do is just kind of talk through our trip. We'll share some of our top 10s. We'll share in some highlights. So I think the first thing, so of course we flew into LA. And
we flew into LA.
Don't take the super shuttle.
Don't do the super shuttle. It was a terrible experience. She had. I had never Ubered or Lyfted before that. We thought the super shuttle, the price was right. You will see the price is good. No issue with the pricing on the super shuttle. But it was, we waited at the airport a while.
We did not get to our hotel. So we stayed at Paradise Pier for the first night. Just because I'm a Disney Vacation Club member, so we were able to convert points to stay there. It wasn't a great use of the points, but essentially didn't cost us anything extra. So we stayed at Paradise Pier the first night, and then we moved to the Disneyland Hotel, the big OG there.
The next day.
The next day,
next morning,
it was a rough late night. We got in at like 1 o'clock California time, which was like 4 o'clock our time. So it was a long
It was very
flight.
long.
I think once we got to the Disneyland Hotel, the Disneyland magic came up, because
happened,
that brings us to.
Well, very quickly, I was gonna go into the last time that we were both there.
Oh yeah, good point.
All right. So our past experiences at Disneyland. I'll let Sarah go first. When was the last time you were there?
I went there in, I think, about 2006 with my mom. We went for like 3 or 4 days. So it had been about a decade since I had been to Disneyland. So I would say that I've only been a few times. So I'm not a super experienced Disneyland. But you, on the other hand.
Well, you might be a little more experienced because it was more recently than I had gone. I have gone too many times to count to Disneyland, but that was growing up as
a little wee kiddo.
I was a little wee kid. My grandmother on my mom's side lived in Anaheim, and quite literally, with zero exaggeration, you could see the Disneyland fireworks from her backyard every night. So I have pretty vivid memories, and some vague ones when I was really young, of visiting her, I think, literally every year. And it was the first flight I ever took by myself sometime in the mid-'80s.
There's so many cute little
photos. But yeah, I went there by myself. It was great. That's when you could go in cockpits on airplanes, and they'd walk you on the tarmac and everything. Anyway, brief memory. But I have been to Disneyland quite a bit, but I have not been there since probably 1990. And there's Cactus. Hello, Cactus. You've seen him before in other videos. But yeah, so I've had quite a bit experience at Disney, but when I was younger, and it has changed a lot. So it was very nice to go back. And there goes Cactus.
Yeah,
let's see if that's
just
the
wants
last
to make sure he helps out with our video.
He's going back and forth like the monorail. So
he is.
But that is our experience. So 2006, and for me, I think around 1990 was the last time. All right, and we were joined by Cactus.
Cactus decided to help us out.
Cactus decided to help us out, at least right now.
So can we just skip to one of my favorite things about Disneyland, since Cactus is here?
We're skipping ahead,
and that is Disneyland Cats. This might be my number one thing, but it really isn't, but it should be.
Soon as, well, I won't say as soon as you get there, but especially if you stay on their property and everything, you are going to see Disneyland Cats
everywhere.
And there he goes, but
Cactus did not like that.
But
he's not okay with that.
There were cats quite a bit. You saw them quite a bit. They're all cute and adorable.
It's Toronto. You like Trader Sam's too?
What?
I love you so much. Oh, you made my trip, buddy. All I wanted to see was a cat from Disneyland. Hello. Hello. Can you get a picture of me?
One of them, the main one, which I guess Sarah told me before we filmed this, might have a different name.
Yeah,
but,
first of all, there is a whole entire like Disneyland Cats Instagram account. You should follow it. It's so
Okay.
fun if you love Disneyland Cats. So there are tons and tons of feral cats that live at Disneyland, and Disneyland actually takes care of them.
Yep.
They spay and neuter them, they feed them, because they are good at pest control, and they're like legends at Disneyland.
And our number one was one that hung out pretty much around Trader Sam's.
He did. He
all
was
the
a
time.
black, floofy cat.
Yeah, really, kind of world weary looking, in a cute way. Like he's seen a lot. That cat's seen a lot.
He's gone on a lot of adventures.
It was really great. He was beyond friendly. Lots of people were petting him, feeding him with bare hands, and Disney does not mind that. In fact, the cast members there, we were told at the time his name was Sammy, which makes perfect sense.
because he was at Trader
Sam's. So I'm gonna call him Sammy.
But I think his name might be something else. At least that's what I've seen on the Disneyland Instagram
Okay.
account. So, not sure if we have the right name or not.
If that's not his name, for right
But
now,
cutest
insert
ever.
cutest
We got
ever.
to pet him.
We got to pet
He
him.
was super friendly. He
Super
wanted our food,
friendly,
to be
and,
fair.
Yeah, he was going from table to table.
People were feeding him
and
like crazy.
People were feeding him like crazy.
It was so funny.
He was purring.
So
And
cute.
the great thing about the Disney cats there is, like Sarah said, they clearly are not just abandoned.
They're a
or thrown.
Disneyland institution.
Yeah, they are taken care of.
And they're everywhere. We saw a ton. We'll get to where we stayed. We stayed at the Disneyland Hotel for most of our time. And we saw multiple Disneyland cats there. We saw them in the parks. They were everywhere. But I was so excited
that was really
that I
cool.
got to meet a Disneyland cat.
Actually meet one. We got photos. I got video, which will probably be inserted here. Heard everything. It was great. And it brings up, she brought up at the resort. So we'll go back to that now. We stayed at, what was it, the first night?
The first night we stayed at Paradise
Pier. That was for only 6 or 7 hours.
Yeah, it was really not that long.
It wasn't that long at all, but it was really, really, really cool. Just very nice. Video will probably be posted here. We had a great view for a couple hours.
Yeah, for a few hours.
Everything was really comfortable. Again, we weren't there that long. This isn't going to be a thorough review of Paradise Pier.
No, and we really stayed there because I had Disney Vacation Club points that we can convert.
Yep.
So it really didn't cost anything out of our extra pocket. It was just points that we were able to use. And then we moved over to the Disneyland Hotel, which is sort of the granddaddy
OG hotel, which, and I'm sure people might be watching this and saying, you know, they've torn it down and built it up. Yes, there are awesome videos out there.
There are so many good YouTube channels,
so many
by
good
the
YouTube
way.
channels that go over the history of it.
Yeah, I think, was it Defunct Land or Yesterworld that just did one?
I think, yeah, one Defunct Land or Yesterworld.
So good.
Both are great channels.
Super thorough.
Subscribe to them. But super thorough, but it is still, because the land it's on and everything, it is still the original Disneyland resort, the original Disney resort anywhere. And
there's so much history.
If you've been there, you know what I'm about to say,
really
but
magical.
you feel like when you walk in, you're walking into history.
It's really magical.
It really is magical. Yes, there's resorts at Disney World that are more themed, more detailed.
Yeah, and you can certainly stay at the Good Neighbor hotels,
Yes.
and I know a lot of people do prefer that because, I'm gonna be real, the hotel was really expensive.
Yeah, it is not cheap.
cheap.
But if you can swing it, if you can afford it, save the money, whatever. Or
It was a great.
If you can
it was
just,
worth
money's
it.
not an issue.
Yeah, we really are glad we did
Yeah,
that.
it is absolutely worth it. Especially you're at Disneyland on Disney property at the first ever Disney resort.
And it's super magical walking back at night to the hotel.
You're right
seeing
there,
the
too.
First of all, it's super close, and
It's
then
really-
second of all, like seeing that Sorcerer Mickey hat lit up as you walk
You walk
through.
under the saucer and Mickey hat to get back to the
And the pool area is
pool
so
area is
cool.
awesome. Trader
You go through a
Sam's is
monorail
there.
slide.
Yeah, it's really, really cool. Disney and the room. Again, we'll probably
every
have
tower is different.
there's 3.
Adventureland,
3.
Frontierland, and is the other one Fantasyland?
Yeah, probably.
Probably.
But there's 3 towers. All are themed completely differently. So when you do go, if you're only there for a couple days, I know you're not going to be able to spend too much time at the resorts, but go into all 3 buildings, just walk around and everything.
Great memorabilia.
Great memorabilia. There's an awesome, in the lobby area, this nice map on the wall and everything. The headboards on the bed, you hit a button and the stars light up on the headboards and play a little song and
Yeah, it
everything.
plays a dream as I wish your heart makes,
Very cool. I
So
cannot
charming.
stress it enough. It is absolutely awesome.
We loved it. We loved it.
it.
Super charming.
And next time we go back, we will probably do everything in our power to stay there again.
Yeah, it was really magical, and I will say from the proximity point, from the history perspective, it was just a really great experience, and we really love staying at the hotel.
Yeah.
So if you can swing it and it's something that you want to do, definitely stay at one of those Disneyland proper hotels, whether it's
And
the
there's
Grand
one more.
Californian.
Grand Californian is the third one.
Yep, and that one actually opens up into Disney California Adventure,
Yeah.
so you can walk in there. Even though we're DVC, we couldn't get a room there. DVC points just weren't available because they don't have a lot. But it's beautiful if you like the Wilderness Lodge or the Animal Kingdom Lodge. Very similar.
Very similar. So if you'd like to stay in something more like you just said, Wilderness Lodge and Animal Kingdom. What's it called again?
Grand California.
Grand California. She's better with names.
Too many names.
Than I am. But we did go into it, and then you ate there after I left,
I ate there at Storytellers.
But very cool, and it walks directly into the park.
Yeah,
it's not like
super like
a whole trailer.
You
You're
walk
literally
into the park.
You walk into the park.
It's crazy.
It's very cool. But yeah, the resorts there are awesome. A lot of history behind them. They're Disney resorts, so they're gorgeous. And as she said, they're good neighbor hotels, which are affiliated and everything, are nice too, of course.
And some are actually closer.
And some are actually closer, yeah.
But if you want some Disney history, I would say a Disneyland hotel is kind of
the way to go.
A great way to go.
It is the way to go.
So we love it. Cactus clearly loves it.
He's back. And,
he is really helping us with our video today. So in addition to the hotels, I think one of our favorite things about Disneyland has to be, just like the Disney hotels are classic, the parks are classic
and have, in a very positive way, a nice small feel to them.
They
especially
really do.
After Disney World and everything.
Which is just sprawling
and awesome. But Disneyland, everything there is confined to a very small area. And of course, that's given Disney, of course, issues with growing and expanding, but they've done wonderful with it.
It just feels very intimate.
It feels,
and again, classic, sort of
very classic.
Like you're walking through history. Like just very
it's awesome.
classic.
Everything there is walkable. If all 3 of those resorts we just mentioned.
Yeah, it was like 10
Disney
minutes.
Springs, which is still Disney Springs there. No,
they're downtown Disney.
They're downtown Disney. I'm sorry. I reversed them. Still downtown Disney there. And the parks,
you can literally
California
walk
Adventure and Disneyland.
to everything.
You can walk to everything. It's all
amazing.
right there.
Within only 10 minutes.
Yep. If you do go to California just to visit Disney and nothing else, you don't need to rent a car or anything like that.
It's crazy. You can literally go to Disneyland and DCA in all of about 5 minutes.
5 minutes. You just walk out of one gate and walk into the other. It's completely
so nice.
Awesome. But yeah, the small feel. Yeah. And that just doesn't...
Even the scale.
The scale is smaller.
Like Cinderella Castle is tinier. Even on Main Street, the buildings don't feel quite as small.
It's actually Snow White Castle.
Oh, Snow White. Yeah, you're right. That. See? I'm in Disney World mode.
But yeah, it is Snow White's. No, it's Sleeping Beauty's castle.
Sleeping Beauty. See, we don't know. Well,
So Sleeping Beauty Castle, as you know, Sleeping Beauty Castle is quite small if you are used to Cinderella Castle. Sarah is right. For those that have never been to Disney World and only Disneyland, you'd probably not even notice. But it is extremely small. But guess what? We like it.
Yeah, everything's tiny. I love even like the outdoor.
Yep.
Like all the queues have like almost like outdoor switchbacks for the ride for the lines, and like things just look a little different.
Yeah.
Even Main Street, we just sat on benches and
ate popcorn and everything. It just
enjoyed the small vibe.
I like what she said earlier. It just feels very intimate. Even DCA, Disney's California Adventure, which is of course newer and kind of bigger. They did a great job with a confined space.
Yeah.
Everything felt great there. It just feels like you're being, I think, almost more wrapped in Disney than even Disney World. Because Disney World, there's a lot of travel. There's a lot of walking, a lot of driving, which again, we love it. We miss it right now.
Yeah.
But when you're at Disneyland, you are completely just in Disneyland.
Yeah,
and
it's just very charming and walkable and fun. And I think one of the other charming things, the next thing on our list, is the classic attractions.
Yeah,
Oh my
this
goodness.
might be the number one thing.
It should be the number one, besides Disneyland Cats.
Yeah, the classic attractions there again. Mr. Toad's Wild Ride,
Snow White Scary Adventures.
Snow White Scary Adventures.
R.I.P. to you both.
Yeah.
Here in Disney World.
What else? The
Matterhorn.
Matterhorn. They have.
Oh, your favorite. Casey Jr.'s back
coming down the track. Casey Jr. This was, listen, I think we went on it twice.
And the Storybook Canals, too.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
Let's just stop and talk about this for a second. The Storybook Canals, Storybook Canals, and the Casey Jr. ride will probably, if you've not been on it, if you have, you know exactly what I'm about to say, seem the most childlike. Again, I'm air quoting it because I don't care that it's childlike. You're thinking, do we really want to do this over Matterhorn bobsleds or Space Mountain? I don't know if you want to do it over them, but you want to do it.
Yeah.
Very
Don't
innocent.
skip
Do
the
not
Fantasyland
skip
attractions.
the Fantasyland attractions.
The dark rides, the other rides,
everything.
don't skip them.
And as soon as you get off the Casey Jr. train, you are going to want to download that song from Napster.
He did it on the ride.
Not Napster. They don't use it. I did it on the ride officially. Not
like iTunes?
iTunes, yep.
Yeah.
I said
Napster?
Napster. In the 90s.
We went back to the 90s.
We went back to the 90s.
World.
But yeah, on the ride, I'm like, I got to have it.
Yeah.
It's just, it got stuck in my head, and great stuff there.
Super charming. Small World.
Small World.
So, the exteriors.
Yeah. You know what? Let's go off on, not a tangent actually, it's about this, but let's dive in a little more. Everyone always asks, and you do hear it, what's Disney World or Disneyland? Is Pirates better here or there and all this stuff?
Tricky.
So I think one of the trickiest ones to answer that would be It's a Small World.
Because the exterior is infinitely better at Disneyland.
Disneyland's exterior is infinitely better.
And it's longer, too.
It's a longer attraction. Actually, you go outside on
cute.
this one, which, of course, we weren't there when it was raining, thankfully. But if you were, you're probably going to get wet and everything. Because this Small World does go outside the actual building. On the other hand, the inside here at Disney World, I think, is better. It doesn't feel as dated or anything like that. It's hard to explain.
That's
just,
fair.
at Disneyland, when you're in the boats, everything seems really far away from you.
Yeah.
Versus here, things are a little closer.
Oh, but the one thing about Disneyland was they actually had Disney characters in the ride. They don't have that at ours.
Not
here
at least.
World.
Yeah, they don't have that
That
here.
was the cutest thing ever.
It was
Kept
awesome.
counting all the different. I was like, "There's Stitch and there's Mickey Mouse."
Out of all the attractions that both parks have that are similar, if I could mash these two together, this would be the attraction.
That'd be a good one.
It'd be a good one. If I had to pick it, if we're doing like we do on our other videos and having to make a choice, I'd probably say Disneyland Small World is better, but only by that much.
There's so many Tomorrowland Speedway, Autopia.
Yeah,
Autopia.
Autopia,
All
there's
the way.
no doubt. Autopia, 110%. If you like Speedway here at Disney World, you will love Autopia. It's longer, it's better themed.
It's I don't know, it feels again less of like a speedway and more like
you're just driving in the country. You're just driving in the country.
It's cute.
I think we did it twice, if I remember. We absolutely loved it. Next up, let's say Pirates of the Caribbean.
Oh my gosh,
All right.
Pirates there.
Yeah, and
So
again, other videos have been done on this, so you're going to
good.
hear it from us now. Pirates of the Caribbean at Disneyland is superior to Disney World. It is superior.
I think that's fair.
It is completely
It's so good.
fair. Disney World's is
Longer.
amazing
You
and
go
awesome.
through Blue Bayou.
It actually starts off
amazing.
the whole when you're going into the building to actually enter the attraction, you see the boats going by at that point.
I know,
They're
it's
going right
really
by
cool.
you. Like you can almost
yeah,
reach
it's
out and
really
touch
neat.
them. Then you go through more queue, of course, like, we all know the queues. And then when the actual attraction starts, you actually go through a restaurant first, which is the Blue Bayou restaurant.
Yeah, which we'll talk about.
So we'll talk about that. But so if you're eating at the Blue Bayou, you are inside Pirates, and vice versa. If you're on Pirates, you inside a restaurant.
It's great theming. It's like Santa Hell Inn or something like that here at Epcot.
And
so
then here at Disney World, there's one drop. On Pirates at Disneyland, there's two drops. I just think
there's whole scenes that don't
there's whole
exist
scenes that I think by far Pirates of the Caribbean at Disneyland. I'm glad Sarah agrees. Is better than Disney World's Pirates.
We do not agree about Haunted Mansion.
We don't.
And, we don't agree about the exterior. I think the exterior at Disneyland is better.
Haunted Mansion is the next choice.
Exterior at here at Holland's better.
I think Haunted Mansion at Disney World is a superior attraction versus Haunted Mansion at Disneyland.
We'll talk about Halloween soon, but
we're gonna get to that.
Haunted Mansion Holiday is pretty awesome. But there's so many. It's so hard because there's so many great attractions in Disneyland proper.
Yeah.
Like,
No, there's too many.
Too many.
Again, we won't focus on this because it's not here anymore. Mr. Toad's Wild Ride is one of the best attractions of all
so
time
good. We
in
went
all
on it so
theme
many
park history.
times when we were there.
And this is not just rose tinted glasses, remembering this and all that stuff. I've loved it since I was a kid, and going back there, we loved it all over again. It is a phenomenal
So
attraction.
good.
But yeah, so
So many classics
so
there.
many
So
classic
attractions.
you
A
have-
must.
a must.
At Disneyland.
Which-
Do them all.
Yeah, which just a huge part of Disney history, and yeah, a few of them premiered here at Disney World first, but some of them at Disneyland, it feels more historic.
Yeah,
there.
and it's nice, especially for things that went away from Disney
Disneyland.
World that now exist at Disneyland
One thing we
still.
quickly, just to come back around, the submarine ride that used to be here.
20,000 Leagues Under the
20,000
Sea.
Leagues Under. It's not called that anymore. It's like
It was like Nemo's Adventure. I don't
Yeah,
know.
but it's
Well,
still
I'll
the
put it up
same.
on
It's
the-
still the same setup though. You're still in the sub.
Oh.
Sarah was hilarious during it. She was absolutely hilarious.
I don't get
because
claustrophobic, you
she
guys,
she
at
was
all.
almost screaming. Again, not literally. I want everyone to know she wasn't literally
I
screaming.
was having a
but
panic attack though.
a
I
little
was like,
mild
I'll be
panic
honest.
attack,
I'll be honest.
but punctuated with moments of wanting to stay on it. It was absolutely hilarious looking back. We laugh now. But at the
Still
time,
claustrophobic.
you're bent over looking through these portholes, and she's like, "Oh my gosh, look at that! Look at!" She's so happy. Then a millisecond later, get me out of here. It was great.
I think it was just very claustrophobic.
Very claustrophobic.
It was definitely an old school attraction.
Very old. You were
They packed
squished
too
and
many
hot.
of us
Yep.
in, and I don't remember going on it as a kid at Disney World and being so smashed in.
Because we were smaller.
That's true. But I feel very smashed in. So if you are
She did.
I'm not
Yeah.
even claustrophobic. You can attest
I'm
to
actually
this.
glad
I'm
she
not
brings this up
claustrophobic,
because
and I was claustrophobic.
I'm actually glad we're talking about this because if you do visit Disneyland and you want to go on it, again, I forget it's the Finding Nemo submarine thing now. But if you do go on it, please know it is extremely tight, and once you're in it, you're not getting out of it
And
until
hot.
it's over. It is very hot as well. So just be aware of that.
Yep.
If none of that bothers you, it's a must go on,
Yep.
of course. But I think if we go back to Disneyland one day, she probably will sit it out.
Yeah, I'm not going back on that
I will
thing
probably
again.
go back on it.
No, thank you.
But yeah, so I'm glad we brought it up because someone
Yeah.
watching this might wonder. Keep that in mind. If you think you're claustrophobic or you know you are, that is not an attraction you want to go on at all.
No.
At
Do you
all.
want to quickly talk about, even though it's not classic, any attractions at DCA? We'll talk about.
Yes, I do.
Well, should we just dive into Cars Land? 'Cause
Let's
I feel
dive
like
in.
That's just,
We're going right to Cars
that
Land.
is going to be our next
Okay.
favorite thing
Let me-
at Disneyland.
Disneyland, Cars.
Phenomenal.
Here it comes. Here it comes. We all know theme parks have done phenomenal updates, expansions. You have Universal's Wizarding World of Harry
Wizarding World's
Potter,
amazing.
which is incredible. You have Galaxy's Edge now at
Also
both
amazing.
coasts.
Pandora.
Pandora World of Avatar. However, and I think I'm speaking for quite a few
Cars
people,
Land.
Cars Land is by far, out of all the
The
ones
best.
I mentioned, the best, the most well themed, the most fun, the most enjoyable.
I really
the
truly
most-
did not believe people.
Neither did I.
Everyone
Neither
kept
did I.
saying,
Yep.
and of course this is before Galaxy's Edge, and was Pandora open when we went?
Yeah, I think it was.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
So we were like, no, it's gotta not be
Yeah,
that
and
great.
I don't.
Nope, it's that
It
great.
is that great, and this is coming from someone. Neither of us are the biggest fans of the Cars films.
Not
They're good.
really.
They're
They're good,
good.
but it's
For me,
not-
I've seen them once, and I probably don't care to watch them again. But I love
Radiator
the
Springs
Radiator Springs
Racers?
Racers is one of the
Oh
best
my gosh.
attractions in the world.
That was so amazing.
It's amazing. The theming there, you
The
feel.
Flo's Cafe, V8 Cafe.
It's insane.
good.
It's insane.
No, but the best, can we say our best attraction in Cars Land?
Oh,
Mater's Junkyard
Mater's
Jamboree.
Junkyard Jamboree. Who'd have thought that would be fun? Basically, if you've been to Toy Story Land here at Hollywood Studios now, the Alien Swirling Saucers, that's, I almost said a knockoff.
It's the same ride
It's the
machine,
same
like
ride
ride
machine,
vehicles.
but it's lesser than Mater's Jamboree. The theming's great. It's hilarious.
It's so cute.
The voices, everything in Cars Land is
Amazing.
phenomenal. Any photos you've seen don't do it justice. Videos you've seen, which will
Yeah.
probably be in here,
Take
don't do it
PhotoPass photos
justice.
if they have opportunities there too. I
Take
highly
every
recommend
photo you can. And when you get to
that. And
the
the
back
actual cars
of it,
come out.
Yep.
Like Lady McQueen came out.
they come
did
out and they're
meet
talking. They got their eyes blinking and
and greet, which they
everything.
of course do at Hollywood Studios too.
Yep.
But I don't know. There's just something about
Something
them
about
being
Cars
in
Land.
Radiator
Yep.
Springs that was just really adorable.
Amazing. It is. I want to go back just for that.
I know. So I think that should lead into one of our favorite things about Disneyland was Halloween.
Halloween. We were lucky to be there at Halloween.
Halloween.
Yep.
Everything Halloween.
Everywhere.
Because Mater's Junkyard Jamboree was Mater's Junkyard
Boo-ree.
Jamboree. And all his songs were Halloween.
Themed. You also had the entire land of Cars Land
Everything
decorated.
was Halloween. We took PhotoPass photos with Halloween stuff
it was
there.
phenomenal. And one of the coolest things at Disneyland, although I know this is controversial for some locals there that, to be honest, they don't like the makeovers or the overlay sometimes, but we were lucky enough to be there at this time. And the Nightmare Before Christmas overlay on Haunted Mansion was wonderful. It was absolutely wonderful.
So cute. I was so glad we got to see it.
Yeah, they did a great job from the outside of the attraction to the inside.
It was just such a great, cool, charming thing to see and something different for us because we, of course, don't get the overlay.
We don't get the overlay here at
Walt Disney World. But I will say, Halloween at Disneyland, it's like, you get Halloween, Halloween. Everything was decked out in Halloween, whether it was decorations all over, the food everything.
Was themed, everything was themed. And of course, Mickey's Halloween party.
We did Mickey's Halloween party. We had to.
And that was, I wish we could do a video on that unto itself.
Oh my gosh.
It is, Mickey's Not So Scary here at Disney World is phenomenal. Yes. We love it with all our hearts, but the Halloween party at Disneyland might have blown it out of the water.
It was crazy good.
And again, something to be said about it is because the parks are more intimate and small and have less people in them typically. But it was amazing. You'll be walking around at the Halloween party, and all of a sudden, here come the Cadaver Dans singing on a little barge, just floating by.
On the water, in their
characters in the
Halloween
Halloween costumes and all that stuff. So if you are there and can attend their Halloween party and most likely their Christmas party as well, it is worth it. If you can swing it and afford it and you're there at the time, I'd highly, highly recommend it.
They went all out. It was amazing. There was so much fun.
Yep.
We really enjoyed all the Halloween decorations, whether it was during the day or at the party.
Yep. So, and we brought up the characters going by on their little rafts and everything. That brings us to the next thing, I think, the characters at Disneyland.
Oh my gosh. They just walk everywhere.
They just walk everywhere. And again, at Disney World, we know it's not feasible here, but over there, they will spend a lot more time interacting with you.
It just felt so much more, again, old school. I know when we were...
Old school is a good word. It felt
because
old school.
I remember going to Disney World as a kid, and the characters were just out. You'd see them, and you'd be able to give them your autograph book or take photos with them. And Disneyland...
Still does that.
And it just felt so cool.
Cool. Yeah, you might see some handlers with them every so often, but overall... A lot of the characters we saw in full costume didn't have a cast member right next to them. They're just walking around.
I know. I had full conversation with Bert and Mary.
Yeah, and they don't have lines around them either. Sometimes you'll see you will see a full-blown character in costume standing there by his or herself, just trying to get people to come up to them.
It was crazy.
Yep, and shout out. I know there's been many videos, but the Evil Queen and stuff, the cast members that usually play her go out of their way to be snide and evil, and it's so wonderful. It's so good. You'll see characters from one movie interacting with characters from another. We saw
charming.
Peter Pan interacting with the Evil Queen. You know, that kind of thing. It was so great to see them insulting each other.
Yeah, it
was wonderful.
So fun. It just feels more personal,
much more personal,
intimate.
Yep.
Like, it was just really nice and magical.
Yeah.
So don't shy away from interacting with
the characters
them
at all. It is well worth it.
When we were DCA, they had random, like, Donald Duck, Daisy Duck, Mickey Mouse. We ran up to them and they were just by themselves in their Halloween costumes, which, by the way, their Halloween costumes are pretty epic there. And we would just go up to them and take photos, and they'd interact with us.
Yes, and I think even Pluto, and sometimes you're just in the stores.
Yeah, we found them in the stores.
Just found them in the stores, just hanging out in the stores. Absolutely wonderful, very magical, feels much more, it just feels wonderful.
I know.
Again, if you've been there or anytime recently or at all, you know what we're talking about. If you haven't, it feels wonderful, and it's not a slight at all at Disney World, which is amazing.
It's just a different feel.
It's just a different feel, and what we just described, I don't believe would be feasible at Disney World anyway, with the crowds.
Yeah, I think it would be much more difficult.
Much more difficult. So Disneyland, Keep doing it
so
as long as you
cute.
can do it. We love it. If you go to Disneyland, you'll see characters just wandering.
Yeah, just make sure there are sometimes characters that do have lines. Don't try to skip the line like I did when I saw Jack and Sally
Oh, this was funny.
at the gift shop.
We thought there was no line.
Whoops.
So we walk in on Jack and Sally at the gift shop.
Whoopsies.
And she's like, oh my God, Jack and Sally. And we just tried to get in line.
I didn't know there was a line.
We were those people.
I didn't
and
know.
The line, well, we didn't know, to be fair to us. The line was
really
actually
didn't know.
through another door. And they're like, you need to go wait in line. And we're like,
Yeah, whoopsies.
oops. So
We didn't get to meet them.
our
but
mistake. We didn't meet them because they were a very special setup.
Sometimes there are occasions where there are lines.
The
Like
good
Disney
news
World.
is it worked out because right in the next room where we had to go to anyway was her fortune telling machine.
Oh yeah, that's another charming thing.
She loves, no matter where we go,
Ew.
it doesn't have to be Disney. Any type of fortune telling type
I
machine.
do love them, like Zoltar.
Yeah,
from-
all that stuff. It doesn't matter. She will get her fortune from it.
And you
They're
have
great.
to at Disneyland.
At Disneyland, you have to.
You
so
have to.
we
There's
got
one
through
at
that.
Esmeralda on Main Street.
Yeah.
You have to. I made us go every single day and get a fortune.
It's a lot
So,
of fun. And,
It's a lot of
yeah,
fun. And a great souvenir. Okay, getting our fortune. There we go. Okay. It says, a magic cityscape may unfold before you today. Your adventures can have their downs and ups and may let you hoist a secret flag or take part in a spirited adventure.
Magic number 071950. Be well.
So I think one of the other things, again, kind of going through small, intimate feel, things that are different from Disney World, the shows and the live music.
Yeah.
The live music I always know about, but it sort of surprised me how many bands and just random live music all around the park.
All around, especially in New Orleans Square.
Square.
We said it at the same time.
Yeah.
There, the bands there, the singing, the bands, the trumpets.
So much great
all that
live
stuff.
entertainment.
Just a ton of live entertainment around every corner. Again, it's at Disney World. It's probably at Shanghai Disney. It's at all the parks.
Yeah.
But Disneyland,
It just felt really special.
It felt really special at Disneyland.
There was marching bands that we saw on Main Street, multiple different live bands in New Orleans Square where they were playing jazz, just all over, even in DCA, lots of great live music. So really, really fun.
A lot of fun.
Super fun. Also, Fantasmic.
Fantasmic was amazing.
Amazing.
Well, this brings us. If we're gonna talk about Fantasmic, we have to talk about the Blue Bayou because we had.
We did a dinner package.
We did a dinner package.
So I guess that'll...
So I'm going to let Sarah explain this because, again, she's more the one that can explain things better about food and everything than I can. I know what I like and don't like. But I'm going to let her take this.
Yeah, so we did a dinner package just like here at Disney World. You can do a dinner package for Fantasmic and you get her preferred seating. So we did that with the Blue Bayou because that was a restaurant that we both really wanted to go to.
Very much wanted to go to.
We didn't really care as much about the food more than the theme of the restaurant, so it was really important to us. So we did that. With that dinner package, we got some priority seating in one special area to see Fantasmic. The hilarious part was we did not know there wasn't seats.
Yeah, there's no seats at Fantasmic. There's no seating.
So you don't get any seats for this party.
At Fantasmic, there's no seating. You will
No
either,
seating.
unless you stand up in the very back,
Yes,
or sit on the pavement.
Yeah,
But if you
or
go,
do a dessert party.
Yeah, or a dessert party. But if you sign up for the whole Blue Bayou or the whole Fantasmic package,
And you
here it
do
comes.
Blue Bayou.
And you do
Only
Blue
Blue
Bayou.
Bayou.
You get a little cushion.
What? A
So
cushion.
we each got to sit on this awesome collectible. Hey, look.
Oh, hey, that's me. I'm a hidden Mickey. Woo.
Anyway, yes.
Yeah, it's a great little souvenir.
Nice souvenir.
And we
little
can take it
handle,
with us
actually.
when we go places.
Yep, we can bring it
cute.
in here at these parks. We can do whatever with it, but it's a nice little collectible you get. It's heavy duty, great detail,
It doesn't really
and
replace the seat, but it is cute.
yeah, it's better than the pavement though.
Yes.
So it's better than the pavement. So this is what you get.
Yes, and we found out my friend Alexis did the Fantasmic dining package with Hungry Bear, and you do not get a cushion. So I
Yeah.
think if you only get it if you do like Blue Bayou, which is the more expensive
So-
of the dinner options.
And
So
Fantasmic is
so amazing.
superb. It is very similar but very different to Disney
Yes.
World as well.
I prefer the Disneyland.
Disneyland.
one to Disney World.
I honestly think I'm going to be bold and say probably 9 out of 10 people would agree with that. If you've seen them both
the
or been to
boat
them
is
both,
so
yeah.
impressive. Like there's just, There's no words that can describe how good it is.
How good Fantasmic is at Disneyland.
Yeah, and again, you feel like you're closer to everything because it is more intimate and there is, closer seating.
Yeah, everything
you feel
at
much
Disneyland,
closer.
on the attractions, on the shows, everything, you feel closer to everything. It's just great. It's absolutely great. But yeah, Fantasmic, the dinner package, Blue Bayou. And again, like we said earlier, Blue Bayou is the restaurant inside of Pirates of the Caribbean. So when you're eating at Blue Bayou, also, you'll see boats go by from Pirates. But also, if you do eat at Blue Bayou, I would recommend, if they allow it and if they have the seating and the time available, ask to be more up by where the boats go by.
Oh, that's a good tip.
Yes, if you don't care, then just go in and enjoy it.
We actually did that.
We actually did that. We
didn't know when we go back.
So we wanted to. We waited a little longer. We had a reservation, but we waited even longer because we specifically wanted a seat right next to where the boats go by.
And it was worth it too.
Absolutely worth it. You see the fireflies in the background and everything. But yeah,
so charming.
Awesome.
So since we're talking about Blue Bayou, I guess that should go into our next favorite thing about Disneyland, which was the food. First of all, the food there is, I guess, similar yet different because there's a lot more quick service restaurants compared to what I would say we have in our parks. I think we have a lot more table service locations. They do have a lot more quick service, but we had some great meals at lots of cool places.
One of the best meals ever, and she's about to say
one of the most terrible meals
one of the most terrible meals ever on the same trip.
But highlights. Carnation Cafe
for breakfast. Oh my gosh.
Main Street. First of all, it's on Main Street, USA.
It's right on Main Street.
It has a lot of Disneyland history. We had breakfast there. It was super charming. The food was amazing. The allergy-friendly Mickey waffles were so good.
Well, let's pause there then. How is Disney? I know how it is, but I'm asking you to ask them. How is Disneyland for special diets?
Yeah, so they
different.
It is a little different, but they do follow a lot of the same protocols. So most of the Disneyland restaurants do have allergy-friendly menus, and chefs or managers will talk to you about options. So like at Carnation Cafe, we had the chef come and talk to us. They didn't have an allergy menu for breakfast, but the chef came and talked through us with options.
And I'm assuming this was before I was diagnosed with anything.
Yeah.
I mean, the fish and shellfish.
Just the fish and shellfish,
which I diagnosed myself with a long time ago. So we were dealing with that already, but anything you've heard in previous videos about chicken and turkey and peanuts and stuff, we weren't worried about. We weren't worried about that back then. But for her, it overall went very well, except for the negative one, which will come up.
We'll get to that.
We'll get to that one. But
I will say overall pretty good because there is more quick service locations. You don't get as much customization at those spots. You kind of get what is available. So I would say the quick services are a little tougher. But we had no issues with table service locations
None
that we
at
went
all.
to. So Carnation Cafe was really awesome. We mentioned Blue
Bayou was awesome.
The food was good there. I wouldn't say it's the best food I've ever had, but the theming really outweighed.
Yeah. You know what? That's fair. The food at Blue Bayou was good.
Okay.
A few things were really good. Some things were just okay. None of it was bad. None of it was great.
Yeah.
But you're paying for the theming.
Yeah, and I would go again.
Yeah, I would absolutely go again for the theming.
The food was not bad by any means.
Yeah, food wasn't bad.
Wasn't our favorite of the trip. But the theme was amazing.
Yeah. So, do we talk about the negative or the best first? Let's end with the best one.
Okay.
So let's talk about the negative. This is going to be negative. So it is what it is.
I don't think you've ever seen me
not this
nearly
bad.
in tears.
I've never seen her in tears in a restaurant. She did not quite get there.
It's pretty close.
But it was close. So I will let her start the story.
Yeah. So quickly, again, we try not to be super negative, but this is one of those situations where advocating for yourself and keeping documentation is really important.
The documentation should have helped even more than it did, but at least we had it to prove it.
We really wanted to go to Cafe Orleans because I have friends like my friend Alexis from Alexis's Gluten-Free Adventures. She has gone a bunch of times to Disneyland, and they can do a gluten-free Monte Cristo there. It's not dairy-free, but it is gluten-free. And I really wanted this thing.
She wanted it badly. She talked about it on the flight, before the trip, everything.
Yeah, so I got a hold of Disneyland 2 weeks before the trip and pre-ordered. That's what they recommend through their special diets department. So Disneyland does have a special diets department just like Disney World. So they told me they wanted me to have a pre-order. So I pre-ordered a gluten-free Monte Cristo, and we were told when we got there to let them know they would have that ready for us. Easy peasy. It was not easy peasy.
No, it was a disaster.
Yeah, so essentially I was told they had no record of my pre-order. not only did they not have a record of the pre-order, the manager and the chef would not come and talk to me.
They would not come out.
And they would not accommodate me.
No.
I was told I could order from the allergy-friendly menu as is. They would not customize, nor would they make me this gluten-free Monte Cristo that I pre-ordered.
And the server was extremely rude.
Yeah, it was bad.
Like
It was bad.
very rarely do
It was bad.
I didn't speak up
It was bad.
much, but it was approaching it where it was.
Yeah, and
there was
I
about to be
thought-
some yelling.
We finally did get to talk to a manager. I was trying,
Finally.
again, we were not being rude by any means. I
No,
was just
we're-
firmly asking
And if you know us
because
personally,
we had
we are
ordered.
not rude people at all.
No, so it was they finally did agree to make the Monte Cristo. We were told it would take about an hour to prepare because they didn't have anything ready for it because they hadn't received my order. I wanted to leave.
She wanted to leave.
I wanted to leave.
Yeah, this is when the servers weren't around us.
I
So
wanted to leave.
she was ready to just get up and leave. I insisted on no. I'll be blunt. I thought they clearly didn't want to make it, set up the equipment and make it. So I wanted them to make it because they didn't want to make it.
He was being an advocate for me because I was pretty upset.
Because she was looking forward to this the whole time. That lunch was already destroyed.
Yeah.
So I figure we're going to get something out of it.
I will say they did make it.
They did
It was
make
the
it.
most delicious sandwich.
And it was delicious when when it was rudely brought out to us.
Yeah, and
it was delicious.
Right, and the funniest thing was, so
It was
at the
delicious.
end of the meal, the manager actually came back out and said, "Here's our pre-order. Your pre-order is for next week."
Yeah.
And
Oh yeah.
I actually had my email,
her email
from Disneyland saying my order was ready for that day.
Yeah.
So one of the lessons that we learned from this, and my friend Alexis also had this experience because she has also run into encounters. This seems to be a common thread. I have heard this from more than at least a half a dozen people going to Disneyland having this issue with them losing the order. That if you go ahead like earlier in the day before your meal to confirm that they have their order, that helps the process to make sure it's there. But I was like, I don't know what it is. I don't think they want to make these. My rule of thumb is if you don't want to accommodate it, just don't make it.
Yeah, and
just don't make them at all.
Yeah, the experience there was enough. Whenever we do go back to Disneyland,
We won't go back.
We will never eat there again.
It's sad because that was the most delicious sandwich.
Yeah, because she finally got it, and then she gave
was
me a
insane.
bite or two. I was like, oh.
It was super good.
Super, super good, but it's not worth the effort.
Yeah, so I would say it's not worth the effort. It was not a great experience. I would say if you really want something like that at Cafe Orleans, that you go ahead, go early, double check, because it seems like losing the reservation
Is
seems to
common
be
out
very
there.
common.
Very
there.
common out there.
So I would highly encourage that.
So,
That being
let's
said,
go to
we had a ton more great experiences.
yes, and the number one dining experience at Disneyland was Steakhouse 55.
Yeah, we went from
It's-
highs and lows.
We're going. Yeah, let's end the food on a positive.
No,
note.
this
Listen,
food was great. The
Listen.
service was great.
Listen, everyone.
Look, he's getting serious.
Listen,
He's getting very
it's the
serious.
best steak we've ever had in our lives.
It was the best steak we've ever
It's
had.
the best steak
It was.
I've ever had, and you too.
It was
Rick.
like butter.
It was like butter. It was so good.
It was so good.
It's worth any price they want to charge. Disney, don't raise your prices. But
it was pretty expensive.
it was pretty expensive. It was so good. Steakhouse 55, which
In
is
the Disneyland Hotel.
It is in the Disneyland Hotel. It is a classic.
It used to be called Granville Steakhouse.
Yep, you will be required to dress nicer there.
Yeah.
At least a polo shirt and khakis
Yeah.
and all that general look.
We had a nice, we had a really lovely, like our server was not
great.
overbearing.
Yeah, and that's
super
what
awesome.
it always, I know, worries a lot of people. Probably not her as much as it does me. I don't like the overbearing servers when they know you're uncomfortable at places, because I'm not one of these wear a tie to dinner and know what fork goes to what. So I'm always, even at my age now, kind of worried that they're gonna, oh, you're a dummy. But no,
You shouldn't be here.
absolutely, yeah, you shouldn't be in here. No, absolutely
It
not.
was great. It was phenomenal.
He was a phenomenal server, and I've
Service
never
was
been to a
fantastic.
restaurant where not literally every 5 seconds, but it felt like every 5 seconds, a separate person just to get the crumbs off
we had
your
the crumb
table.
server, yeah.
The little crumb server would come with this little crumb thing and
That
just
was awesome.
like immediately. If a couple crumbs appeared, they'd be gone. Trust me.
Yeah.
Within a minute, they're gone. The steak was delicious. The mashed potatoes I think we had were delicious.
Food was phenomenal.
Food was phenomenal.
Drinks were phenomenal.
The history of the place.
Yeah.
Everything there. The minute you walk in, you're treated to big, huge pictures of Walt himself and everything.
It just feels very real. It feels like Walt should be
Yeah,
there.
it feels like if you, corner of your eye, Walt Disney might be sitting in a corner
Yeah, it feels
over
like
there.
old Hollywood.
Yep.
Like there's just
So,
something charming about
yeah.
that. Quickly, as a side of places,
You're about to
old-timey.
bring up the where we got our drinks downstairs.
Circle.
Carthay Circle.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
We
Some of the best drinks we've
we
ever
love
had.
first of all, we love old timey drinks.
Yes. But
Super
Carthay
phenomenal
Circle,
drinks.
we did not eat at the restaurant at Carthay
We did
Circle,
not.
but we did stay downstairs in the area. I think we had 2 drinks each.
Mm-hmm.
We had 2 drinks each, and they were some of the best drinks ever. Again, part of that is probably working and the fact that you're in Disneyland and you're surrounded by history and everything like that. So that adds to the
So
authenticity
lots of,
of
great
the drink.
restaurants and lounges.
Yeah, a lot. So yeah, I wanted to end that on a high note.
Yeah,
Carthay
so-
Circle's phenomenal for drinks and probably the restaurant too. We didn't eat there, but Steakhouse 55. Again, I've said it like 4 or 5 times in this video. It's a little expensive.
Yeah.
We can't lie about it. But if you can afford it, and you want some of the best steak, the best service, some history, you have to go to Steakhouse 55.
Yeah.
And anytime from this point forward, anytime we go back to Disneyland in the future,
It's gonna be a must.
It'll be a must. We will go there.
It'll be tradition.
Yep.
Yeah. And then just quickly, if you're not wanting to do table service, a few quick service places we really liked. Flo's V8 in Carsland, really good. We loved Hungry Bear for burgers.
Oh wait, let's back up really quick. Thank you. Flo's and Carsland. That was delicious.
Delicious.
Yeah, I think and the
Yeah,
fries,
steak sandwich
sandwich and the fries were in the cone thing, right? Yeah. Oh my gosh, I forgot about
You
it.
had a cozy cone too.
Yeah, it's delicious. Quick service. Walk up, get your food, and my quick recommendation: if you don't want to walk around and eat it, you want to sit outside and eat. Go over to the back where you can see
the Radiator
Springs Racers, and you feel like you're just sitting at an honest to gosh real place, not some fabricated area.
Yeah.
It's wonderful. And what did you say after Flo's?
Oh, a Hungry Bear in
Hungry
Critter Country.
Bear,
That was
which
another
we
good
ate
one.
there during the Halloween party. Yep.
We did not get to eat at Rancho del Zocalo, which
We tried.
I love.
We rushed
Mexican
over
food.
there and
They closed 10 minutes before
10 minutes before we
there.
got there, so that's on us.
Yes. However, I'm gonna go quickly back to Steakhouse. I see I'm rambling like
Yeah,
you are
no,
about food.
Good.
I'm gonna go to Steakhouse 55.
It's so good.
The table service breakfast there. You were gone. You actually were flying back to the.
This is more stuff she's done without me.
I
So.
know, you were on your way back to the airport, and I had
Yep.
to go to a conference, so I wanted something good. I had chilaquiles and allergy-friendly Mickey waffles at Steakhouse 55, and it was the most phenomenal breakfast. So
And I wish I could have been there.
I would definitely go there for breakfast. So great,
Instead-
and storytellers too.
So while she's
in
doing that,
Crane,
I'm
California.
leaving on a jet plane.
No.
Don't know when I'll be back again.
I know, we
But,
we don't, especially now.
Um,
but the food in general, whether it's quick service or table service, lots of great options. And then rounding out our favorites on our list, I can't believe we're going to end with one of this one, but
Yeah.
I think it's going to be MaxPass.
Absolutely awesome. Sarah is about to explain it in detail. It is great, and it's totally different than what Disney World
Yeah,
is.
so of course at Walt Disney World we have the Fast Pass Plus system. We used to have the old paper Fast Passes. We do not have those anymore. Of course, we do that through our mobile app. However, Disneyland has a little bit of a hybrid. So they still have the paper Fast Pass system that you can get. It is included with your park admission. But then they also have this thing called MaxPass, which is when we went in 2017. I have no clue what the price is now because we are not good researchers and I didn't look up the price.
She's a great
It
researcher.
was $10 a day per person for us to add on MaxPass when we went on our trip. And so that means that in addition to the paper Fast Passes that you can get with your regular admission, on top of that, you can actually book when you get into the park up to 3 attractions, basically additional Fast Passes.
Yep.
So we could book 3 things we wanted via MaxPass.
And it helped us out tremendously.
And we could still get paper Fast Passes.
Yep.
So we were like totally maxing our time.
we had passes flying all over.
It was great. No, it was
great.
perfect because you can do it cross parks, so we could do it across Disneyland and DCA. So we were in Disneyland and we wanted to get a Max Pass for Guardians of the Galaxy over in DCA, and we did that, and we basically just got one for 2 hours later,
Walked
over
there,
to DCA later, went on that,
Went right on it.
and as soon as you've used up your Fast Pass via Max Pass, you can make other ones.
Yeah, you make other ones. It's not like
It
you're
was
limited.
awesome.
You just keep making them.
We
and
were
it's
utilizing
great.
that
I was
great.
more shocked by how many people don't use it. From what I understand. I don't think most people do.
I would say I think it's now included if you're an annual pass holder there. Again, I didn't look that up, but I think that's the case now for Disneyland. If you are a Disneyland pass holder, let us know. But it was great because we were able to really maximize our time. And I think if you're vacationing at Disneyland,
because our 3 days there, we more or less, in terms of attractions, I think we literally did everything.
We did a lot.
We did a lot. If not everything, we only missed one or two things.
We did a ton of stuff, and we really, using MaxPass really helped us.
Helped us a great
Especially
deal.
with the popular stuff like Radiator Springs. If you can't get a paper fast pass, just keep checking the MaxPass and get a time. And that really helped us with the popular things that we couldn't just get
we didn't want to wait a couple of hours or something like
so
that,
it was really nice for maximizing that. So I would say if you are going to Disneyland, see what different things are available there and really use those features like MaxPass. It was worth the $10 per person a day. Totally worth it.
Absolutely awesome.
So kind of wrapping up our trip. Oh, and PhotoPass. I forgot about PhotoPass too. So yes, you do get PhotoPass also included there.
With the MaxPass,
With the MaxPass,
So if you get the MaxPass, you get Disneyland's PhotoPass. Again, totally different than here in Disney World. And I want to say this. I don't think we have ever at Disneyland or Disney World ever had a bad experience with a photographer cast member. They're Listen, they're phenomenal here at Disney World. But again, it is Disney World. They're far more crowded, dealing with hundreds, if not thousands of people over and over and over. So they do spend a little time with you here. At Disneyland, every single PhotoPass person spent
crazy amounts of
times and took crazy amounts of photos. It's not like 3 or 4 photos. You know, again,
it was like we had a private photo shoot.
We almost had a private photo shoot at a couple of them right outside Carthay Circle.
Yes,
right?
that was a really good one.
The one guy there, the cast member there, he spent 25 minutes with just us.
And he kept doing special photos,
different angles, and he was every single PhotoPass person there was phenomenal.
Just people were not using PhotoPass.
People weren't using PhotoPass there.
That was crazy.
It's kind of like every so often here at Disney World, you'll walk by and see a PhotoPass person, and he or she just, they're just standing there like no one's going up to them. We always do at that point. But at Disneyland, you see it quite often.
And they were in some really great spots. We got some with in Fantasyland, by one of the towers, we got to take lots of great photos.
Oh yeah, there was a tower one there. I think he was just literally standing there, and no one was going up to him.
Phenomenal
photos.
We
did, and I think we spent 10 minutes with him.
Yeah, phenomenal photos.
Very talkative, going out of their way.
Special character and features in the PhotoPass photos. Like we have some with like Zero,
I think the Headless Horseman. But yeah.
Boogie Boogie.
Yeah, I absolutely adore the PhotoPass cast members everywhere. Disney World here, Disneyland there. But at Disneyland, they are able to spend a lot more time with you for the most part. There's probably, again, crowded times there and everything too. But
we got some really professional photos.
We got professional photos.
Some really wonderful photos.
And they, not one time, again, this is just Disney magic, like it always is, not one time did they seem to want to stop spending time with us.
Yeah, it was great.
There's a few that I think if we wanted to take an hour's worth of photos,
probably could have.
He or she would have taken an hour's worth of photos with us, but we want to be respectful of their time too. But you'll see it. You'll start taking photos and still no one comes up. You know what I mean? No one comes up. It's like, this is awesome.
Yeah, so I would highly recommend MaxPass, PhotoPass. Take advantage of those when you're at Disneyland because they're not as busy as they are at Disney World, and you're going to get a lot of sort of bang for your buck for that price.
And again, I agree. They we know they have busy times there, but overall, comparatively to here, compared to Disney World, it's just a fact they're just not as busy.
Yeah,
overall.
for sure.
And it's wonderful. But I think that brings us to wrapping this up really quickly about Disneyland.
I want to go back to Disneyland.
And we will vlog it this time.
I know.
But there's so much we didn't touch on. We didn't touch on the monorail. We didn't touch on
we love the monorail.
Bugs Life Land, which is now gone.
Bugs Land.
We didn't touch upon what else?
Oh, the Grizzly Bear,
Grizzly
River track area. That was so cute.
There's a lot we didn't even touch upon. So maybe we'll do another video down the road about Disneyland. But we wanted to at least get one.
Yeah, and show some of the clips from our trip and
from 2017.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Okay. I keep saying 18, but it was right at the end of the year. So.
It was October.
So,
but yeah,
it was
so great
memories.
Such a good trip.
And again, I think it's very important. We've said it, I think, from the very beginning of this video up till now, the history of Disneyland will affect you while you're there.
There's really something magical about
It
knowing
gets-
that Walt Disney was there to see his apartment, above the fire department.
I think a lot of people sometimes
Really
think
magical.
it gets overused in documentaries or vlogs, sometimes like this. You know, Walt hovering over everything, it feels like it. It absolutely feels like it. Walt himself walked down those streets, maybe not literally built it with his bare hands, but you know what I mean? He built it up with his bare hands. And you can look up and see his room up there, his
the
light up there. It's awesome. It's the original Club 33, the only Club 33 that should exist. But the amount of history at Disneyland is almost second to none. Every Disney park, be it Disneyland Paris, Disney World, Shanghai, I think Tokyo, I'm missing Disney Sea, Hong Kong, they have all great history. All the cruise ships have great history, but Disneyland is the original history. And it's phenomenal.
Yeah, and I think if you are a Disney fan and you're wanting to go to another Disney park besides Disney World, it's a super accessible one. And of course, it's got that rich history and really the touch to Walt. So I think it's a great way to experience Disneyland. We love it. We want to go back again.
And we will. And we will.
And we will.
Probably not anytime soon, but when we do go back, rest assured it'll be posted here.
Yeah.
So, but that's about it, right?
I think that's about it. Yeah. What do you love about Disneyland? If you have been there, share with us sort of your experiences.
Or if you're planning on going there, what are you looking forward to?
Yeah.
Any questions about it, feel free to ask. We will do our best to answer.
Yep. And we've done I did a few like voiceover vlog reviews of different things from Disneyland for dining. So you can see some of that here on the channel.
If you scroll, if you go back on the list, or she'll probably link it. Again, this channel is 11 years old, but we just started doing this. So she has previously done ample amount of
so there's a few
reviews
things
of
there
restaurants
too.
and stuff. So it's well worth watching. So but Disneyland is wonderful, magical, and highly recommended to anyone that can afford and has the time to go out there.
Yeah, so I think that's about it. Like we said, if you've been to Disneyland or going to Disneyland, let us know what you think.
And as always, the patrons on Patreon, thank you all so much, especially right now with everything going on still, and it's still going on. And in saying that, we are thinking of every single one of you every day, hoping for the best for everyone and wishing you well. So thank you to the patrons on Patreon. Thank you to everyone that please do subscribe, that has subscribed. Hits the little bell. The bell is very important. So you'll know when a new video is posted, and it'll just be emailed to you. The new video posted. Hit the bell. Please leave a like, a comment. Anything.
Let us know what you'd like to see. We know
Yep.
that right now we've been hearing lots of people say that this is bringing a lot of Disney magic to their lives. To have sort of recaps and things that they like to see. So let us know what you'd love to see as another video during these weird times. But otherwise, be well, stay safe.
Yeah, stay safe. And anything else you want to see on this channel until we get back to normal, please do tell us. And that's it. But thank you to everyone.
Yeah, that's
All right,
it.
that's
Thank
it.
you, and see you soon.
Bye.
Bye.